Hello, Governor. It's been a while. I feel like it's been a long while. It's been like a month or two. Crazy? Yeah. First up, deal with family issues. Second, just finished up my finals. And thirdly, holidays. That's why I haven't been posting often. Thank you, Carnage, specifically. You not texted me, commented a while back. And yeah, that pretty much just motivated me enough to get back into it before Christmas hit. I'm gonna post this on Christmas Eve. And yeah, it's basically what's going through my head right now. I finished up most of Mushoku Tensei Season 2 recently. I'm gonna be real, it's getting up there. It's one of my favorite anime of all time. I mean, it's already in top 5. But I think episode 21 of Mushoku Tensei has claimed my favorite episode in all of anime to this day. Fucking chills. But definitely the best piece of work I've seen this year that's come out of anime. That's saying a lot. We got Slime Season 2 this year. So yeah, that's pretty much the top contenders for me. Mushoku's really pulling its weight, I gotta say. Fucking jaw-dropping. And to all the people out there that actually like those, I'm with you. Because I don't believe there's many Mushoku Tensei what ifs out there right now. So let's see if I can kickstart a trend. Alright, so basis of the story. So in the battle, and basically the battle of the Imperial Army when the Imperial Army attacked Tempest or hometown Rimuru and killed Shion. Saddest moment. Basically, when Rimuru was restoring their souls after his Demon Lord evolution, he didn't have those 2 demons to sacrifice in order to gain those magic tools. Basically, so he was planning on doing originally before Diablo suggested the idea, he supplemented his own life force. In doing so, one second. My bad. In doing so, he created an opening for the man god, which wanted to pull him in. When Rimuru's first body was being stabbed, the man god wanted to take him then. But another god that supported, that was stronger, I guess, kind of snatched him away. So, in Rimuru's moment of, supplying energy, the man god wanted his own. In return, he kind of stole Rimuru. So, Rimuru was technically transported, not reincarnated. But he is getting a new body. So, technically. So, similar in Mushoku Tensei, he is reborn as Paul and Zenith's baby. And yes, so he is, teleported or just yeah. So he's moved across space and time to another world of Mushoku Tensei. Yes, jobless reincarnate. So, yeah. Rimuru's first thoughts are, I wonder if it worked. Because technically, Raphael was the one who used the spell to resurrect. And he does not have Raphael in this. He does have Great Sage, But yeah, so basically Raphael is currently in Rimuru's old body as the conscience. So he left Raphael behind. He still has some of his other skills, but the ones that overlap are, I guess, removed. I'm just gonna eyeball it, really. So, if you want more details, I'll go into that. So, yeah. Basically, Rimuru wakes up in an unfamiliar place because, let's say he didn't wake up in the place Rudius did. He's still going to be named Rudius, by the way. Yeah, let's say his name is still technically Rudius, because I don't see why that would be changed. So yes, Rimuru wakes up in a crib, and Great Sage informs him that his physical body is no longer that of a slime, and it basically informs him that his physical body has been morphed into a human male. And I will show you what he looks like now. This is what he looks like at around the age of 6. This is what he technically looks like. Yes. Back to the thing. So Rimuru is in his crib, and he's just going, and he's asking Great Sage a bunch of questions like, okay, can I use my skills? He says, you no longer have the ability to use Predator, because he can't expand his body into that of a slime currently. He still has all his skills, there's just some that aren't usable due to his physical changes and his spiritual changes. You are able to use Beelzebub, because Beelzebub, technically, he did not expand his physical body in order to use Beelzebub and/or Gluttony. Obviously, you still have Great Sage, me. You still have thermal fluctuation resistance. You possess paralyzing breath, but he can't really shoot out of his hand anymore. Yes, he actually either breathe. He can use sticky steel thread, but he comes out of orifices, so really just his ears, nose, mouth, eyes, technically, and other bits we're not getting into. So basically, yes, he still can use fire magic. So all of his fire magic spells are still usable. Body double is still usable. He can still cast Water Blade. Even if he doesn't have water stored in his stomach, it materializes similar by using his mana. His magicules from his past life were transferred into mana, because that was technically spiritual energy. So magicules are transferred. So let's say that he has very high levels of mana right now, even as a baby. He could probably perform some of he can probably perform some season 2 Rudius spells right now, easily. And he'd probably do 4 of them, if I'm being honest, because I'm gonna be real, Rimuru had a lot of fucking magicules back then. So yes, Great Sage informs him of all this, and he gets the base of it. But this is when Zenith walks in. Zenith just runs up to him and grabs him and is like, "Oh my god, it's a baby." Yes. Time skip. Rudius is not Rudius, Rimuru technically, but yeah. Rimuru is using Great Sage to basically what's it called? Fucking translate the writing and language. So he's been able to understand Zenith so far. because Great Sage had been like gathering the knowledge and translating it himself. So at this moment, Zenith. Yeah, so at this moment, Rimuru is just going over the magic manual, learning that mana is capped off at birth. There are incantations for spell casting and magic circles. And yes, so he begins trying to use, he begins just going over basic spells. And he casts Water Ball a lot. His mana pool grows about like maybe 1/10 of what it currently is. And yes, he does that for basic like, let's say that was on it like, that was a week worth of time. He grew 1/10 of the size. Yeah, that works. Reamer's gotten accustomed to the basics of his new day-to-day life. He's a toddler right now, and he's not even that. He's still technically a baby, so he can't really walk. So he's basically just skimming over the magic manual every now and then by crawling to it. But he's only able to do this like once every 3 weeks. So let's say, after about 2 years when he can walk, he's grown his mana pool about 1/10. So what I'm basically looking at is when he's a baby, he just gets a chance to skim the mana manual, and Great Sage just gets a full page to look over whenever. So he's basically been casting small water balls and using Gluttony to remove the water. Time skip. He is currently 4. So in the anime, let's say this is about where he casts Splash Flow, which is the spell he used to break his house, and that's when they started teaching him magic. I was about to say witchcraft. So yes, he is going over the book, the magic manual, since he can now walk and pick up the book, I guess. He's going over the manual and he's examining the advanced magic. He's looking through it, and mind you, in the show, Rudius cast intermediate magic, Splash Flow, and broke the house. Reamer is going to cast advanced magic, because he's already got the basic grip down of magic. So what he does is, he picks up the book, he points his hand out at the window, and he doesn't really cast the incantation. He has Great Sage auto do it. He has Great Sage do it. The spell he cast is called, let's call it Gale Palm. Basically, he shoots an air wave out of his hand, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's meant to be an advanced spell because of its destructive power. It's a fairly high attack spell, considering most wind magic isn't used for attacks. So let's say it's about equivalent to Splash Flow then. He does it, and it does about the same amount of damage Rudius did, but it sends the debris flying, and it causes a lot more damage. By just sheer destructive force and pushing power. That's how that goes. Once Zenith and Paul run in, Zenith looks at the book and realizes Rudius just cast advanced magic at age 4. there's not even a discussion. Paul's all for it, and they're still teaching him swordsmanship because they support it. And they want to, boost Rudius in as many ways as can. Well, technically Rudius, that's what they still have to call him. So, yes. What he does is he studies swordsmanship and magic, but mostly magic. He's got Roxy as a tutor. When Roxy sees him, she has pretty much the same reaction. But this time, Rimuru's not like, ha ha ha, yeah. He's more or less like, Miss, may I demonstrate what I know before you start teaching me? Roxy says, sure, why not? And then he pulls some fucking weird shit. Because instead of just being like, oh, Gale Pump, Splash Flow, he pulls I believe it goes beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then Saint, King, Emperor, and God. He puts his hand out and recites a custom incantation. Let purgatory's flames rage, and the gates of Gehenna spring open. Release the almighty power of the nether realm. Burning ray. So basically, what happens is fire, like legitimately, a fucking ray of fire flies out of Rimuru's hand and hits a bird. It just hits a bird. It fucking explodes. Just explodes like it's what's it called? Napalm bomb. A napalm bomb like level of fire over a forest starts to rain down. Roxy puts her staff up to try to block it, and Rimuru puts his hand up and says gluttony, and he consumes the fire. Let's say the spell's called Nether Ray, just because. Yes, Nether Ray, that works. He made it to mimic a napalm bomb. Yes, indubitably. Anyway, he mimics the napalm bomb, and it works out very well. And Roxy's looking at him like, the fuck spell was that? Then he says, what was I supposed to do without the incantations? So then he's like, one second. And before she can be like, what do you mean without the incantations? He just uses Gale Palm without the incantations. And then she's like, okay then, I'll teach you all I can. He just used a Saint class fire spell is what I'm getting at. So the basics of what I'm saying is, Rudius was able to cast a Saint class water spell, Cumulonimbus, 2 years, like a year after Roxy was teaching him. Rimuru can cast a Saint class fire spell before, and it's custom made. Yes. That's the basics of what I'm getting at. So, over these years, Roxy is fairly Rimuru gets fairly comfortable with Roxy, not in a weird way. Basically, Rimuru considers Roxy as like one of his companions, a friend, like akin to like the Kijin and the goblins. He considers them dear friends. So when Roxy's about to leave and the final exam's coming up, he learned the Saint Class spell easily. But let's say Roxy knew one, let's say she knew one King Class spell. And let's call that spell fucking... Fuck, I'm thinking, this is dumb. Fuck. I really can't think of a spell. Huh. Fuck it, it's called Water Dragon. It's just Water Dragon. I don't care. Basically, Roxy steps up, but, begins chanting. I'm not gonna go into the chant because I really don't feel like it. Really don't. Basically, the effect of the spell is rain clouds of form similar to cumulonimbus. But as the rain falls, it just siphons to a whirlpool above her staff. And when the whirlpool is when the rain stops flowing, water begins flowing up through the whirlpool hole and it forms into a dragon. And that dragon, and you know how Mike Guy's kick, it flew across the ground, breaking it. Rimuru was impressed at the destructive power of the spell, but he thought back to the Charybdis fight and realized he's seen much worse from his world. And then Rimuru tries. Rimuru attempts it, and it comes out perfectly, and bigger. A lot bigger. Roxy, once the spell is complete, Roxy tells Rimuru that spell's output was probably Emperor class. Basically, she's complimenting his extensive mana. He says, thank you so much, because he's always been fascinated by magic. Was he? I guess you really can't say he was. He's grateful that she was willing to teach him even though she had her doubts. That's what I'm getting at. And yeah. So, another week goes by and Roxy admits that she has nothing left to teach him and she'll be going to be on her way. Rimuru's actually sad about this, because this is the first, real friend he made since coming to this world. And he doesn't want to lose them so fast. So he says, Miss Roxy, please don't go. You can teach me more. Roxy denies this and says that you've already surpassed my skill. And one day, I hope I can come close to your level. He starts crying. Yeah. And she pats his head and gives him the necklace. And then she's on her way. And tells him that they'll meet again soon. Time skip. Let's say it's been about let's say it's been a year since Roxy left. So which means he's currently 7, I believe. He's walking along. Yeah, he's walking along the road, and he sees a little girl. Not a little girl. He sees a little kid getting pelted with rocks. He does not approve of this at all. So the first thought he gets is, hell no, He has, let's say he uses a custom ability he made with magic, and basically utilizing Great Sage potential, he uses multicasting. Rudeus can already do this. Both Great Sage and Rimuru is thinking they would already be able to cast 2 spells, which means it would be quadrupled to 4. And Great Sage is clearly, his processing power is clearly surpassing that of a human. So my guess is that they can probably perform about 8 spells together. So they use about 4 spells and pelt the kids with the water until they leave that child alone. Rimuru walks over to them and asks them if they're alright. Sylvie, which you could probably already understand if you ever watched the show, says, yes, I'm fine. Rimuru offers to help her, and he washes off the mud and uses healing magic to heal the bruises. And that's when they pretty much become friends. Ending it here because I'm at the 27-minute mark. Probably gonna talk till it's 30 minutes. I'm gonna post right now. I'm gonna go on to YouTube and post the thumbnail for this video in a picture. Be like, this is getting posted tomorrow. Yes. No idea what time, because I'm a fucking bum. And I don't, yeah. Yeah. I want to thank everybody who's stuck with me in this channel so far. Wasn't expecting to grow to 800 in the slightest. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody out there that's still fucking... Everybody out there that's still putting up with my ass and my horrible upload timing, and yeah. I said I'd go out before Christmas, and I'm going with Christmas Eve, baby. On a side note, my channel's been up for over a year. I find that pretty cool. Pretty cool. I want to thank everybody who stuck with me from the beginning. There are those few people who I know have been there. And for y'all who stayed here, thank you. Hope the channel keeps going. If it becomes big enough, it might be filmed full time. Doubt it. But I can only hope. That'd be a good life. But yeah. Hope the Mushoku Tensei Season 3 comes out. Season 2, Episode 21 was the shit. Loved it. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. No idea when the What If Nagisa Head Carnage is coming out. I have to rewatch that, and I probably have to watch a bit of Assassination Classroom to catch up, because my memory's awful. Yeah. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get up in the morning. See you later. Love you guys. I've been the Dueling Demon. You've been the Legion. We are ASMA. See you later. And Water, I swear to God, if you play one of my intros again, I'll kill you. That is a legitimate threat. Trust and believe. See you later.